Have you ever felt like you're slowly fading into the background, as if the world doesn't quite see you anymore? Like you're living, breathing, moving through your day, but somehow ... Invisible? You're not alone. And more importantly, it doesn't have to be this way. What if I told you that something as gentle, as simple, as human as touch could bring you back into full color, into focus, into power? I'm Dr. Henry Caldwell, and today I want to share with you something rarely spoken about, but deeply powerful: the healing potential of a practice called male wellness massage. Now, I know the word massage might bring to mind spas, scented oils, or quick fixes for a sore back. But what I'm talking about here goes deeper. Much deeper. This is about reclaiming your body, about taking back the parts of yourself that age and stress and silence have tried to bury. It's about reawakening your connection to your strength, your vitality, your confidence. It's about honoring the truth we often forget in the noise of aging. The body remembers, and it longs to feel alive again. See, elderly wisdom doesn't come just from years. It comes from listening to what your body tells you when the world quiets down. It tells you where it hurts, where it feels numb, and sometimes where it wants to be noticed again. Now, most people over 60 don't talk about this. They declutter their closets. They follow the senior decluttering rules. They organize their homes for safety and simplicity. But what about the body? What about emotional clutter, the aches, the stiffness, the quiet longing for touch? That's where this journey begins. Male wellness massage is a science-backed, time-honored method to help older men reconnect with themselves, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. It's a gentle, respectful practice that supports better blood flow, releases chronic tension, and revives areas of the body that have gone quiet. It's a way to say, you still matter. To your nervous system, to your skin, to your confidence. And this isn't about chasing youth. It's not about looking younger or pretending time hasn't passed. It's about embracing where you are in your journey and making space for what's still possible. That is the heart of a healthy aging lifestyle. Think about it. When was the last time you gave yourself permission to feel, really feel? Not just function, not just survive, but feel strong, warm, desired, present. This practice doesn't promise miracles overnight. What it offers is deeper connection. And in this world, where so much feels temporary, fleeting, even disposable, connection is the greatest treasure. We've left on in the next part. We'll explore how this massage works, not just physically, but psychologically. I'll walk you through the real science behind it, why it's more than a trend, and how even small changes can start restoring your energy and your sense of wholeness. Because you're not invisible. You never were. You're just getting wiser. When it comes to healing, the body doesn't need fanfare. It needs intention, precision, respect. That's the beauty of male wellness massage. It isn't about doing more, but about doing what matters in the places that matter. Let me walk you through the how. You see, as we grow older, circulation begins to slow. Not just in the heart or the hands, but in the places we don't always talk about. Areas that carry tension, carry memory, carry unspoken worry. The male pelvis, for example, is home to some of the most neglected and misunderstood muscles in the body. Over time, stress, posture, and emotional load can create tightness there. Not the kind of tension you stretch out at the gym, but the kind that makes you feel disconnected from your strength, your intimacy, even your identity. That's where targeted techniques come in. One of the most effective is called rhythmic massage. It uses slow, steady strokes, not to excite, but to awaken. These movements help stimulate blood flow, relax deep muscle layers, and signal safety to the nervous system. Safety is key, because when your body feels safe, it begins to heal. Another method is the manual ring technique. Simple yet profound movement using the thumb and forefinger in a circular motion. This isn't just touch for the sake of touch. It activates nerve endings that have grown dormant with time. It gently tells the body, you're still here, and you still work. There's also the perineal massage focused on the area between the genitals and the anus. It might sound strange at first, but this area holds immense tension in men, especially after 60. Gently working here can release years of physical and emotional holding. It can improve not just circulation, but sensation and function. And yet, this is only half the story. Because while these techniques improve the physical, what they really begin to do is unravel the emotional. Many older men carry invisible burdens. The fear of not being enough, the silence around changing intimacy, the loneliness that grows louder with age. All of this stored in muscle, in breath, in skin. That's why this practice isn't just about better function. It's about clutter-free living, starting from within. Think of it as emotional downsizing. We talk about downsizing tips for seniors, clearing closets, reorganizing spaces. But what about our inner rooms? What about the memories that weigh us down? The doubts that sit in the chest like bricks? This massage invites you to let go, gently, with dignity, with breath. There is profound elderly wisdom in slowing down, in listening to what no longer serves you. And believe me, once your body feels that release, even just a hint of it, you begin to walk differently. Stand taller. Breathe easier. This is the part where many men begin to rediscover parts of themselves they thought were lost forever. Not just desire, but confidence. Not just performance, but peace. And isn't that what healthy aging should be? Not a list of what you can't do anymore, but a celebration of what you can feel again. In the next section, we'll talk about how to create the right space for this healing to unfold. Because the environment matters just as much as the technique. And when done right, this practice becomes more than a routine. It becomes a ritual. One that can return you to yourself, night after night. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you prepared a space just for you? Not a space to fix something or clean or cook or work, but a space to simply to breathe, to feel, to reconnect. In our later years, we're often told to simplify. And we do. We follow the senior decluttering rules. We learn home organization after 60. We make our surroundings safer, easier, more manageable. But somewhere in that process, we forget that we deserve more than efficiency. We deserve intimacy, comfort, care. That's why setting the right space for massage matters more than you think. Because this isn't just about applying pressure to muscle. It's about telling your body, you are safe here. You're allowed to feel here. Start with something simple. A quiet room. Dim the lights. Maybe play soft music, not for distraction, but for grounding. Some men like to use essential oils, like rosemary or ginger, which helps stimulate blood flow and calm the senses. You don't need much. Just a few drops, warm between your palms, can turn an ordinary moment into something sacred. This moment, after all, is a form of self-respect. And it's here, in this quiet, that a powerful shift begins to happen. Your body starts to open. Your breathing slows. Your shoulders soften. And little by little, you begin to reclaim the parts of yourself that have gone quiet with age. That's why I encourage you to think of this not as a chore, but a ritual. A practice that honors who you are, not despite your age, but because of it. There's elderly wisdom in creating space for yourself. In saying, I am worth this time. I am worth this care. Now, rituals don't have to be complex. They just have to be consistent. Even 5 minutes a day in a quiet corner of your home can become a sanctuary. A place where you can reconnect, not just with your body, but with your sense of self. It's in these moments that your confidence begins to return, not the loud, performative kind, but the quiet, grounded strength that comes from knowing who you are. And let me be clear, this practice is not about fixing what's broken. It's about tending to what's been neglected. It's about learning to touch your own skin with kindness, to meet yourself with patience, to breathe into the tension and exhale something lighter. The beauty of clutter-free living isn't just in having less. It's in making space for more of what matters. More connection, more healing, more quiet joy. And once this becomes part of your rhythm, you'll notice something else. Your home changes. Not just the way it looks, but the way it feels. It becomes a reflection of your care. A space where a senior, home safety meets emotional sanctuary, where you feel both protected and alive. In the next part, we'll talk about the unexpected power this practice has on your relationships. Because as you soften toward yourself, you'll find it easier to open toward others. And in that space, love, trust, and real connection begin to grow again. You may not realize it yet, but the way you care for yourself becomes the way you relate to the world. The simple act of slowing down, of touching your body with intention, of listening rather than rushing begins to shape your relationships. 2. That's the part of male wellness massage many people overlook. Yes, it restores circulation. Yes, it brings back physical energy. But perhaps its most beautiful offering is connection. You see, aging can be lonely, even when you're surrounded by people. There's a silence that settles in when the body no longer feels desired or acknowledged. And for many men, that silence becomes a barrier between them and the people they love. But when you begin to reconnect with yourself, when you start to breathe, feel, soften, you create space for something unexpected. Emotional intimacy. Whether you do this practice alone or with a partner, what matters is the presence, the awareness, the shared trust. When done with a partner, this massage can become a sacred space between two people, free of performance, free of expectation. A space where you both can be seen, heard, held. Where love isn't about action, but attention. And that, my friend, is where healing begins. Touch, after all, is our oldest language. And when words fail us, as they often do in later years, a single hand placed with care can say, "I'm here. You still matter to me." In many ways, this is a form of emotional decluttering. Just like we clear old furniture or sort through memories tucked in drawers, we can also clear the unspoken tensions between us. The resentments we never voiced, the longing we never dared express. Male wellness massage becomes a tool for that, subtle, respectful, but deeply honest. Some couples rediscover each other through this, not because they are trying to feel young again, but because they are learning what it means to be close again, to sit quietly beside each other without rush, to offer comfort not in words, but in warmth. And that is love in its purest form. Even if you're alone, this practice helps you build a deeper, kinder relationship with yourself. You begin to see your body not as something that's failing, but as something that has carried you through storms, through loss, through triumph. And slowly your inner dialogue changes. You stop criticizing. You start thanking. That gratitude becomes the soil where confidence grows. And this is where elderly wisdom truly shines. It tells us that relationships are not built only in the grand gestures, but in the small, repeated acts of presence. A hand placed on the heart, a deep breath taken together, a moment where nothing is demanded, only offered. When your body begins to trust again, when your spirit feels safe again, you find you're more open to love, to affection, to being seen. And isn't that what we all want, no matter our age? Not just to be touched, but to be known? In our final part, we'll explore how to make this a sustainable part of your life. Not a one-time solution, but a lifelong rhythm woven into your day, your environment, your sense of self. So that as the years unfold, you don't just grow older. You grow deeper. There's a quiet power that comes when you decide to care for yourself fully, intentionally, without apology. Not because something is broken, but because something within you still wants to thrive. That's the true essence of elderly wisdom. Knowing that aging isn't an end, but a turning point. A shift into something deeper, wiser, stronger. By now, you've learned how male wellness massage can support your physical health, emotional well-being, and relationships. You've seen how it restores not only function, but feeling. Not just sensation, but dignity. But what now? Now is the time to make this part of your rhythm. Just like your morning coffee or your evening walk. It doesn't need to be long or complicated. It just needs to be yours. Start small. Create a quiet space in your home. A place where you feel safe, grounded, comfortable. Let that corner be more than just a room. It should be a reflection of the care you now give yourself. In the same way you follow downsizing tips for seniors, this too is a form of decluttering. Not of things, but of noise, of shame, of disconnection. This practice is about bringing your body back home to you. Once you build that rhythm, just 5 minutes, maybe 10 a day, it begins to anchor your sense of self. Not in the past, not in lost time, but in the present moment. A moment where you are strong, centered, whole. You'll begin to notice shifts, how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you meet others' eyes. You may feel more relaxed, less rushed. You may begin sleeping better, breathing deeper. You might even start approaching other areas of your life with the same grace, clearing out clutter, not just in body, but in your home, your relationships, your heart. And that is the beauty of a healthy aging lifestyle. It doesn't ask for perfection. It invites presence, gentle attention, a slower, deeper kind of power. You are not fading. You are arriving into a season where clarity outweighs chaos and tenderness outweighs pride. If you've ever felt invisible, like your needs no longer matter, or your voice has grown too quiet, I want you to hear this. You were never invisible. You were just waiting for a new kind of attention, one that begins from within, one that honors the journey your body has walked and welcomes what's still to come. So take this first step. Just one. Try the massage. Set the space. Give yourself permission to feel, to reconnect, to begin again. And if this message touched something in you today, share it. Share it with a friend, with a partner, with someone you love. Because you never know who else has been quietly waiting to feel alive again. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you won't miss what comes next. We're building something here, a space for elderly wisdom to be seen, shared, and lived out loud. Let's keep going together.